So now let's talk about lenses, shots, and angles. So wide-angle lenses have the effect of widening the perspective from a given angle and a certain distance from the subject. This is an example of a 0.7 wide angle that increases the viewing angle by 30%. So this is not actually a lens, this is a converter. So it converts the existing lens that's attached to the camera and makes it 30% wider. It's called a 0.7x. Here's what it actually does. This is the actual frame with the Century VS07 on the frame right now. Here's what happens when we take it off. You see how it's more pushed in, and there's the actual lens, that's the converter, and it's made by Century Optics, 0.7. We're going to rewind right now and actually show me putting it back on so you can see exactly what it looks like when you put it back on into a scene like this. There we go. That's the 0.7x in action. That's what you're getting from the exact same perspective live, no cuts. Telephoto lenses have the effect of narrowing the perspective from a given angle and a certain distance from the subject. Here's a 1.6x telephoto converter that increases magnification by 60%. So when you put a 1.6x telephoto converter, you're getting pushed in 60% closer to the subjects. You're magnifying that area of the frame 60%. But even the best telephoto converters vignette towards the corners of the frame until you zoom in to compensate. These converters are designed to give you a greater magnification, not a full zoom scale. What that means is that when you put it on the lens, the first thing you're going to see is it vignettes around the top left, right, and bottom left and right edges of the frame until you zoom in. And when you zoom in, that vignetting goes away. It's supposed to give you a good close-up, but you're not supposed to be able to use the entire zoom scale like with the 0.7x wide angle. So here's the Century Optics, and we're putting it on right there, and you notice how it's vignetting. You can actually see the barrel, the entire barrel of the frame, until you actually zoom in. And here we go, we're adjusting the camera, we're zooming in a little bit more right there, and as soon as we zoom in far enough, you won't see that vignetting anymore. And we're going to rewind, zoom out just a little bit, tilt down, zoom out all the way, and we're going to remove it and see what kind of an effect it has. So you're getting closer to the actor 60%. This is the thing that allows you to get extreme close-ups and still have them in focus. Now we're going to talk about shots. A wide shot conventionally establishes the location and the action where the scene is about to take place. The framing depends on the scene. What matters is the proportions of the shots to each other within the frame. So essentially, the wide shot, there's no convention for a wide shot. It's just in relation to the medium shot that you're going to take of that same scene. So when I tell my DP, I say, okay, give me a wide shot of the scene. Let's just say this is the wide shot. The medium shot is just going to be a little bit closer, but the wide shot could have been from much further away. As long as you just establish with your DP what a wide shot is, then he'll know what you mean by a medium shot and close-up at that point. So this is what we established as a wide shot. A medium shot brings the audience closer to the action. It's not as personal as the close-up. It is better for editing to move in with the camera rather than zoom in. When you change shots, change the height, angle, and framing. What does that mean? Well, first of all, it's more personal. Now, a CMS, or a close medium shot, is closer than a medium shot, but not quite as close as a close-up. This is textbook. This is a real shot. It's called a close medium shot. This is just a way for you to communicate with your DP. That way, when you tell them, well, I don't want a medium shot, I don't want a close-up, I want something right in the middle. You don't have to keep saying that every single time. You can just say, I want a CMS, or I want a close medium shot. You'll notice that we're a little bit closer to them than from the medium shot, but not quite as close as a close-up. So it's a little bit more personal. You can see the actors a little bit more, but at the same time, you're not just isolating one actor or doing an over-the-shoulder. So this is a medium shot using the wide-angle lens, and now we're going to cut from this to the CMS here in just a second. Notice how you can see all the way down to their knees, essentially, and above their heads. This is a CMS. You've cut them off pretty much right above the elbow, but you still have the headroom right above their heads. But you're not cutting them off like right below the shoulder as for a close-up. The same principles apply when moving in for a close-up. Change height, angle, and framing to accommodate the subject. However, try not to get a close-up on an actor with a wide-angle lens, since that will be unflattering unless you're doing it for effect. Which means that when you actually get closer to an actor and try to do a close-up with a wide-angle lens, you're going to distort their features. They're not going to look right. They're going to look like they have a huge nose, or they're going to also look like they're a lot larger than the actor right behind them. We're going to actually do that in a second. We're going to see how moving in with a wide-angle lens exaggerates her size in proportion to his. But I mean, to like not even a normal degree. So here we go. This is a close-up with a wide-angle lens. Notice how she looks almost like she's twice as big as he is. If you're going for effect, which means you're trying to create an environment where things feel like they're out of the ordinary or out of place, or you're trying to get inside an actor's mind, then you might explore doing something like that. But normally, when you do a close-up, you want to do it with a telephoto lens so that you can be more kind to their features and compress the perspective a little bit more.